Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we have been working on developing this area down here, but in the meantime, I do see that this commercial area has developed quite a lot. Specifically, this is the office area. So those are the dense office buildings. Interesting. And this is the dense commercial area down here. Now, there's still a lot of commercial areas zoned here that hasn't actually been utilized, and there's still quite a lot of commercial demand. I'm guessing if we built low-density business over here, that it would actually fill up the demand much easier. That's the theory, anyway. I'm wondering what's going on with this highway over here. Reason I'm wondering that is because look at this incline. That is not snapped to that grid. It is reasonably-ish snapped over here. Actually, it's not. I'm going to redo this area, and specifically only this area. So we're going to take this chunk of highway out of here. And what I want to do is I want to build it in straight line tool. I want to go over to highway, build this up, and I want to build this out over this way. Not necessarily straight out like this, right? But actually, yes. This is better. It's not perfect. So what if instead I want to check to see where the center line of this is? So it's like here. Okay, so we snap it to the grid like that to essentially reset it. And then we bring it in like so. And it's better anyway. So that'll do. That'll do. We'll need to redo the on-off ramps over here, but it's not like that'll be particularly challenging. Let's just get set up for that, and we'll just put this in here and out over here. There we go. No problem whatsoever. And that is set back up. Now, as I was saying, if we were to zone this as low-density commercial out here, I am willing to bet that this will satisfy the demand much better than all of this out over here. But I kind of don't want to do it. I kind of only want to do high-density business out over here. We'll see how that ends up going. We'll add in some additional high-density commercial there. And we'll see if it satisfies it. Well, we do see buildings popping up over there, so that's good. Now, there is definitely some demand here for medium-density residential, and I would like to make some of this over here be medium density. Now, currently, this is all zoned as low density, so we could make it be medium. I do think that we should probably get these roads built up here quickly first, so we would take this out to about here, and we've got a pillar. Okay. That's not shocking, I suppose. So then we would take that out to here, and there's... Actually, that's not even a pillar. It's just a very rude chunk of wall there. Okay. Very rude indeed. So we'll just bring this guy right on in. Snapping is like so in theory. Yep. Bring it up. Thank you very much. What is going on here? Some sort of wackiness. But this works. Okay, I can live with that. Now, are we going to have a pillar issue here? I don't think so, but I probably should have built this road first. That would make some amount of sense, but, you know, that requires thinking about things. So we are going to bring this section of road, if I can find that actual intersection point here. We're going to bring that out to about here. I guess that's only 110, but that's okay for now. And this would go right here, in theory. Technically, that is bent. That is not the angling I'm looking for. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's definitely not the angling. Weird. Very weird. Okay, I'm going to build the road up over here. And see if we can connect it in up here. That's more like the correct angling. Okay, we'll take it. So that's fine for now. I want to connect up right here and get this guy right about here will do. And then we'll connect that up over here. That is definitely not the right angle. Hang on a moment. Let's try that one again. So that's allegedly 90 degrees. I highly doubt that. I'm going to bring it out over this way instead. Okay, so right here, that's 90 right there in theory. Sure, that'll work. Okay, wild. Then we can bring this out to be somewhere out over here, right? And where exactly would we want that to be? Well, we'd want it to line up with this grid right here. So that would end up being about here. And then we would bring this guy down here. That looks straight. Now we have a pillar issue here. Actually, not even a pillar issue. It's a wall issue. Okay, we'll just take that out of there, and we'll just build this straight on in. No problem whatsoever here, in theory. There we go. And of course, this road would need to be built along here. So we'll use the curve tool and just bring this in to be something along the lines of that for now. Okay, now we can, of course, bring this guy straight on over here. That is apparently sloped too steep. Okay, let's take this chunk out of here then, and we'll just connect it up from here. That's more like it. Straight line tool, please. And we'll bring this guy in over here. Cool. So that'll do. No issues there. This street can, in theory, be extended directly out over here. This highway would have to be removed because there's a pillar issue. Of course there is. And we would bring this in out over this direction. Now that's not that's a 125 degree angle. What is going on with this intersection? Okay, I'm going to remove that temporarily. And we'll try it again. Okay, now it's fine. Sure. Okay, whatever. This needs to be connected in right down here, like that. Although that looks mildly horrific at first until you realize what that shadow actually is. The shadow is actually that wall there, which is reasonable, I think. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We can then bring this road straight on down here. Like so. And there we go. That'll do. This road, of course, we would connect directly in here. That's currently giving overlapping items, so I think we'd have to back it off to be here. Approximately. And then just bring it in like that. Now we can build this section of highway back up. That is too tall. And we would just bring this guy down over here, right? So we would want to drop a pillar approximately here. Here. And then like down here, right? But we're going to have some angling issues. Can we snap to only the angle for right now? Yeah, that'll do. Okay. That seems reasonably fine. So then we would have an on-off ramp right here. This looks from here like it's not straight, but that's just because of the grading of the terrain here. I wonder if we'll have some slope too steep issues on this side. We'll take a look. What do we got? So curve tool. So if we bring this guy out up here, surprisingly, that just works. Okay. I'll accept it. Now for this area right here. We shouldn't have any major height issues here, I don't think. Pillar issue there, but we can drop our pillar there instead. No problem. A little wider on one side. Not too concerned about that. So we can, of course, bring out our off-ramp over here. This is our radio mast, and that needs to be moved. Just moving it up over here would do the trick. And then finally our on-ramp, which would be out over here, about like that. Okay. So that'll do for now. That's this meta block good to go. Now what I want to do is I want to make this actually all be medium density housing. So that is going to be rezoning this area here to medium density housing. And yes, that does mean that some of these areas under construction are being rezoned. And I'm sure they're very sad about that. But there we go. That's out of there. Now we'll see if that is okay on the medium density. That's probably more than what we need for medium density, to be honest. So next up, we can do this little zone up over here. Let's hop over to Road Tool. And we can continue to push up over this direction. So somewhere around here-ish. This really doesn't want to snap to where it needs to be. And it's because of this road. So I'm going to bring this road over about here for now. And then we're going to bring this guy right on up. Yeah, that'll have to do. That'll have to do for now. So this road can, of course, be brought up over here, but this will need to be at 112, right? Because we then need this guy to come on over to about here. And we can definitely see that it is slightly off from here by like 1 lane width. But I would rather adhere to this grid down here than this grid up here. It just needs to be close enough. And I would argue that it definitely is. So that's reasonably fine. Next up, we would be looking to adhere to this point, right? So this guy would go straight up into the road up here. And this guy would do the same. And then from this intersection, we would just bring this right on over to here. And then over to, in theory, here. It doesn't create a pretty intersection, but it'll do. Cool. Then we can bring this on up. And this guy would come over to be, in theory, well, it would need to link up with this road, right? That's the road it would need to link up with.
What's up, honey? Me and my sister.
It's 89 degrees there. This would be 90. So let's just take it right up over here for now. And then this road can be linked over to here. Like that. There we go. Now that can go up. And then this can go over in a really awkward fashion, but it's okay. So then this would go over by another... Actually, it would end up going, like, right here? Hang on. Something... That's not what I intended to do. Something isn't quite right here.
That must be most exacerbating. Classical music has
Let's see. So, in theory, this road would go about right here, right? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So then we would bring this up here. I think I was overthinking it. Most likely. That's probably what was happening. So we position this guy here. We get a really awkward triangle structure here. Excellent. I'm sure everyone will absolutely love driving through those intersections. That is definitely how that's going to work. Right? I'm sure of it. Okay, so right about here. Cool. Yeah, this area is not going to be awkward at all. That slope too steep. Okay, that's reasonably fine. If we do something like that, is it still slope too steep? I mean, we don't need to have the road connecting here, in theory. Yeah, it's just giving invalid shape. I think we just leave it like that, to be honest. I think that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so that's this area roaded on up. Let's see how that does with our demand at this moment. So we've got some commercial that will hopefully be satisfied up over here. We can see demand is holding firm for low density and for medium density right now. We can get rid of some of these abandoned structures, and that will be absolutely okay. Yeah, that's that bug there where it's just like, I don't have road access, but it actually does. And it's confused because it's underneath the highway. I'm 99% sure that's what's happening with those. It always happens right beneath these highways like this, and it's like, I have no access, but it actually does. And then it gets rebuilt, and they're like, I don't have access, but they actually do. It's always when it's on this road right beneath the highway. Every time. So that's, I think, a bug. What do we got going on here? Waiting for an ambulance? That's an interesting point, actually. How long has it been since we put in any medical clinics? Probably a little bit. That said, we still don't have any extra vehicles in use here. So that seems reasonably fine. Let's check in on our power here. We're almost full. Yeah, full in 2 hours, apparently. And this is going to be full in just 11 minutes. So this might start massively filling up here very shortly. That said, sun is going to be going down quite soon. Where are we right now in terms of the sun's positioning? Oh, hello there, sun. You are right there. Gotcha. So with the sun being right there, that's actually a ways away from the horizon, but it has started to rain. What's that doing to our solar panel output? I mean, it's actually not too bad, but lack of sunlight is still minus 31%. We can see that we are full on our emergency battery station, and we're still filling up our solar charger. This must not charge up all that fast. Yeah, that must be the case. So we're not seeing a significant amount of residential demand right now. Okay, that sounds good. We are, however, seeing that structure being abandoned. It did get taken care of automatically, though. Looks good. So there is still commercial demand. And again, with the amount of dense commercial space that's available, I am like 40% certain right now that it's actually wanting low density commercial. It doesn't tell us that. Also, I'm noting some traffic jams. I want to take a look at these. So there's one right here with this parking garage. Fair enough, but what's the actual root cause of that? It is the parking garage. That will iron out. I'm not too concerned about that one. I also saw a traffic jam being noted somewhere down here. But it doesn't really look like that's still there now. That seems to have cleared up on its own naturally. Okay. So that is definitely noted. It's unsurprising, to be honest, that this street is struggling to control this level of traffic, right? It's deeply unsurprising that that's the case. A lot of people are trying to go off to the right here, but it looks like that is dealt with. It just takes time. I'm okay with that. That's not too concerning. It is definitely starting to ice over. It's raining currently, but we can see that the snow coverage is coming in from the north here. That's reasonably fine. I want to take a quick look. Oh, hello. We had a traffic accident at this intersection. Given the freezing rain, I can't say that that's shocking. And the speed at which these guys are careening around these corners, yeah, not shocking at all. So that's reasonably fine. It is currently snowy. Lack of labor. Yeah, I'm not shocked about that. Like, we have so much light housing right now. We've only got 20,000 people here. And we're building office buildings like this for 20,000 people. It's not the most realistic thing in the world. That's for sure. But we overall are doing reasonably fine on our demand now. So that looks okay. I do think that we definitely want to get some low-density commercial zoned. I find it odd that the game differentiates between the two. I'm wondering if it's because of the lack of skilled labor. You know, that is theoretically quite possible. I'm going to rezone this area over here as being light commercial. So just something like that. There we go. So the light commercial's in there, and look at that just plummet. Yep, that's exactly what it wanted, was light commercial. That's very interesting. Clearly the game differentiates between them in the demand. Now, again, I think this is probably due to the lack of labor, but clearly the game differentiates in terms of the demand without actually telling us. So that's intriguing. We're also seeing our low and medium density residential down here still actually wanting a fair amount more. We could zone this up here medium density. So that would end up being like this block here, right? And that would go something like that. And then we would bring this up over here-ish. Yeah, this area is currently light. Let's get that zoned over to medium like that. Anything out over here on this side of the highway should really be zoned medium at this juncture, including down over here. So we're going to get that done, but I'm going to zone more light out over here. Ooh, that's really awkward. I don't love the way that that was doing it, so we're going to do it this way. I'm going to use the bucket tool, actually, and we're just going to zone it like this. This should be medium density over here, though. So something along the lines of that will do. I'm not going to zone on this side of this street. We're not messing with the riverbank. Nobody gets riverside property here. That's how this works. So there we go. And right up over here is okay to zone. Yeah, that's reasonably fine. Okay, so something kind of like that. That gives us a bunch more both light and medium density residential, and hopefully we'll see these demand graphs drop a bit. Kinda. Definitely kinda. Well, we'll let them build over here for a while. That'll be okay. Let's check in on our solar power plant right now. It's covered in snow, but apparently that's not stopping it. Lack of sunlight is still minus 31%, but we're doing great as far as power goes, as far as I'm concerned. We may want to consider actually a second emergency power station. So where would we want to put that? How big is it? Could we squeeze that in right up over here? Close. Maybe like right here. There's that power line there. So we would need to get it in like right over here, right? And then we would link that in with this existing power line. So just something like that temporarily. Okay. So this is charging up, and that will give us a lot of excess power overnight. That's exactly what we want, is a lot of excess power. That is definitely charging quickly. We've also got the battery bank in our solar power plant, so that will be able to produce power for a while as well. But between these two battery stations and the solar power plant, we should be pretty good to go on that front. Now, as far as the Heritage Dam goes, I want to take a quick look here. This is still not producing anything due to low water depth. That said, yeah, we're definitely not seeing any water coming through it. We're just trying to raise up the reservoir right now. And we are succeeding in that. It is definitely coming up, but it has a ways to go if we can get in here. It has a ways to go before the water starts falling out of here and actually powering the generators, right? So it'll take some more time for our reservoir to fill up here. This was a lot of extra space that we needed to get set up as, like, we needed to wait to fill, right? So that'll take some time. No doubt about that. Wow. Look at this moving down here. Actually, it's moving quite a lot up this way as well, and then it gets still right up by our reservoir. So the water is flowing in, and then just kind of chilling here as it fills in the reservoir. And then it moves pretty quickly again once it actually gets through the reservoir, but it is... Oh, that's very awkward. Oh, that's very awkward. It is not yet flowing through the dam, so that's okay. Taking a look at our demand graphs at the moment, they're holding firm. They're pretty low. I think we're fine for the moment. So we definitely want to continue to develop like this side of the river if we want more residential. There is some area down here to develop, and I would not be opposed to developing this side of this highway for now. Maybe not on the developing this side at the moment. We did it over here, and it was definitely spicy. No doubt about that. Awkwardness ensued as far as these on and off ramps go. So that's for sure. Out of curiosity, what's going on with our parking here? So there are currently 40 vehicles parked out of the maximum capacity. That is noted. Okay. Solar power plant is at minus 32 now due to lack of sunlight. So, I mean, the sun is definitely going down. It's currently 11:30, and it's winter. So I'm wondering how exactly the time passes. Is it 1 month is a day and then the next month is a night? I don't know. It kind of feels like it, though. We may want to consider putting police and power down here. What do we have down this way? Yeah, we could almost certainly use a police station down over here. So we could slot that in right there. And then as far as a fire station goes, we should probably consider one out over here.
What?
About like that.
Here? Sorry
Okay,
about that. It's
excellent.
not important. I just
So we
lost
can
my
bulldoze
keys.
these abandoned
I'm sure
locations.
they'll turn
That's
out
reasonably
really
fine.
brown
But all things
today.
considered, things seem to be going reasonably well now that we've made some significant residential expansions. We still have a lack of labor up over this way, and we might want to take a look at things like our university
Never mind then.
or just
Thank you
education
for
system in
listening
general.
to, Second
So
Thought.
elementary schools, yeah, we
And
definitely
onto our
need
main feature
some more
story.
college
The
here.
commercial district is booming. as
So where
the
is our
area
college?
attracting more
Is that you?
high-end stores,
You're in elementary
bringing the
school.
latest in
That's our
luxury to
college.
our neighborhood.
Okay, so there's
You can
980
now
students
shop
in
for
the college
designer
right now.
shoes
We're
while
very close to
sipping a
capacity.
fancy local
We could
Jarver
consider
mocktail.
upgrading our
Or
college.
so my wife tells me. That's good for
So that's
business
better
and
chances of
good for the
graduating, whereas
community.
this increases the number of
We'll be
students
back.
that we can have. That's what we'll do for now. We can
Industry
also
regions
upgrade the
on
college
rise,
library, but
and
we
when
don't
business
really...
is
Actually, we
doing
could
well,
put the
that
space in here.
floats our boats.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenda.
We could put another one in too if we really wanted to. But for now, that should do. That'll boost up our college reasonably well. Now, our elementary and high school isn't great. We may want to consider putting in an elementary school down over this way. It's kind of huge, of course. And we would need to figure out where exactly we want to put it. Where indeed? We might be better off to upgrade our existing elementary schools. Again, they're kind of huge. So we could do an extension wing over here and get a lot more students there. And that seems reasonably fine. We can do the same thing over here, putting in an extension wing. Okay. So that should give us a lot more capacity for our elementary schools. Yeah, that looks much better on the education front. Now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see if our demand comes back anytime soon. Hopefully, we built enough to satisfy it for a little while anyway, but I do see that low density creeping up a bit. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.